Do Re Mi, shall we? Okay, so it opened in 1960 at the St. James Theatre, and it's a musical about the mob infiltration of the music industry. And it was written by Jule Styne, Comden and Green, and Garson Kanin, and produced by David Merrick.
The show bordered on the upcoming subversive 1960s style musical. The writers brought the show to Merrick, but he wasn't actually interested in the subject matter until a real story made headlines about the mob beating up a man while his screams were purposely drowned out by a jukebox in his coffee shop.
Do Re Mi revolved around Hubie Cram, played by Phil Silvers, who was famous as Sergeant Bilko on TV. Hubie and his con man friend scheme to get into the jukebox industry, much to the chagrin of his long-suffering wife, played by Nancy Walker. I love her. Phil Silvers had starred in 2 Broadway musicals before, High Button Shoes and Top Banana.
Doesn't it sound he's going to say Pal Joey now?
Yeah. High Button Shoes and Pal Joey. But
Phil Silvers and Pal Joey, oh my god, that'd be brilliant.
But Phil Silvers, if you know him, wasn't really much of a singer. A New York Times feature article just before opening shared that he had been taking voice 4 times a week in order to produce better tones for Do Re Mi.
It's an ad for the cast album. The article then went on to reveal that Silvers had had stomach problems when the show had tried out in Philadelphia. On their next stop in Boston, he was diagnosed with ptomaine poisoning. The Times wrote, Silvers knew exactly what had caused it. It was a certain clam he had eaten in Philadelphia. He had had a plate of clams on the half shell, and he knew the particular clam that had caused his problem. The New York Times was like really specific for wig clams. Despite it all, he proceeded to give a matinee and evening performance.
Trooper. The score included the song Make Someone Happy, which became a hit and was recorded by everybody from Judy Garland to Barbra Streisand, and in the show...
To Boyzone.
To Boyzone. In the show, it was originally sung by John Reardon, who made up half of the secondary couple along with Nancy Dussault. Critics love the score, and generally love the show as well. The New York Mirror said, the show has several ditties that will be played often on actual jukeboxes, all sung by Nancy Dussault. A cute little trick with a voice that has a semi-Ima sumac range, and John Reardon.
I like how they called her a cute little trick, like it was a compliment, which it was. The Daily News also loved the show, saying, this is a jolly show with no attempt made at being significant. The dances are refreshingly old style, and the orchestra is good and loud.
That's what you're looking for.
Indeed, the reviews were mostly good, other than the World Telegram, which called Do Re Mi an extravagant disaster.
Sounds like a Lady Gaga album. You know who she is? Music for Pink Folks.
When David Merrick saw in the Morning Edition that the World Telegram had called Do Re Mi an extravagant disaster, he got the editor of the World Telegram on the phone. He said, I'm not going to do a David Merrick impression. Disaster is a prediction. I can see from my window people are lining up for tickets. The show will run for 2 years. Your notice is the greatest journalistic blunder since the Chicago Tribune announced the election of Thomas E. Dewey.
Don't mess with Merrick.
By the end of the phone call, the editor had dropped the final paragraph and the negative headline of the review from all later editions of the paper, so only 10% of people ever saw that negative review. He's a good reviewer, but he made a mistake, said Merrick. At any rate, this was all in a morning's work.
The show ran for a little over a year, but failed to recoup. Other than that, the subject matter, the innovative aspect of the show was the scenery. This was Boris Aronson, who had been working on Broadway for decades, but was just about to explode onto everyone's radar with a little show called Fiddler on the Roof. He also did Cabaret. For Do Re Mi, the first scene was at a club where many tables were occupied by cast members, and also by cartoon figures who interacted with each other. The entire set was conceived as a pop art jukebox, and the show curtain was made of a collage of jukeboxes.
During the young couple's climactic duet, Fireworks, Boris Aronson worked with lighting designer Al Alloy to create a black light scheme, where shooting stars and candles were revealed on stage just as the song exploded. Here to sing Fireworks from Do Re Mi, Lucy Horton and Kevin Michael Murphy.
I feel.
What an attractive fellow.